Ever wake up sweating because you were being chased through a neon-lit shopping mall by a giant, sentient toaster wearing your boss's face? And you're not even wearing a tuxedo. You're in a giant, slightly damp hamster costume? Yeah, totally normal. I mean, we've all been there, right? No? Okay, maybe just me. But seriously, have you ever stopped to think about what the heck is actually going on when you hit the pillow? You close your eyes, you're safe in your bed, and suddenly you're in a different dimension where physics doesn't exist. Your high school math teacher is a fire-breathing dragon, and for some reason, you're trying to take a final exam in a swimming pool while wearing flippers. It's like your brain turns into a chaotic, surrealist art exhibit the moment you fall asleep, and I find that absolutely fascinating and slightly terrifying. Every night, for about 2 hours, your life becomes a high-budget, completely unscripted virtual reality experience, and your brain is a director. The only problem is, it's a director that seems to have consumed an entire bag of espresso beans right before shouting, "Action!" It hasn't always been this way, of course. Well, it has, but we've had some pretty wild ideas about why. People have been trying to figure out dreams since the beginning of time. Ancient Egyptians, for example, thought dreams were actually messages from the gods. They even had dream interpreters to help them understand if that giant cat in their nightmare was telling them to buy a boat or to watch out for a pyramid collapse. Then came Sigmund Freud, who was convinced that dreams were just your subconscious screaming about things you were afraid to say out loud. He spent his career trying to decode every dream, convinced they all pointed back to some very complicated, awkward feelings about your parents. Honestly, some of his ideas are a bit much Siggy, but the truth is, the science behind why we dream is way cooler, and a lot less about your parents and more about your brain just trying to survive the day. The biggest theory we have right now is called memory consolidation. Think of your brain like a desktop computer that's been running 400 tabs all day long. You've been learning how to use a new app. You've been arguing with someone on the internet. You've been trying to remember where you put your keys. That is a massive amount of data. Dreams are basically the clear cache button. As you sleep, your brain is actually working hard to file away the important memories of your day, like don't touch the stove when it's red, and throwing out the garbage, like that weird thing a stranger said to me at the bus stop 5 years ago. If we didn't dream, our brains would get so cluttered with useless information that it would be like trying to find one specific sock in a laundry pile that's been growing since 1998. Your brain would just crash. It's basically doing its nightly cleaning service so you can start tomorrow with a somewhat functional hard drive. Then there's the threat simulation theory, which is honestly my favorite because it's so dramatic. Imagine your brain is a paranoid drill sergeant with a whistle. This theory suggests that your brain creates nightmares specifically so you can practice surviving stressful situations without actually having to get eaten by a bear. It's a training simulator. Your brain puts you in these fake, dangerous scenarios, being chased, losing your teeth, showing up to school naked, so that if you ever do encounter a real danger, you're ready. It's like, thanks for the help, brain, but I think I'm good on survival training today. Could you maybe just let me dream about winning the lottery or eating a mountain of tacos instead? But no, the drill sergeant has a job to do. It's making sure you're prepared for the apocalypse, even if the apocalypse is just you forgetting your presentation at work. Beyond those two, there's even the activation synthesis hypothesis, which is a bit of a mouthful. This theory basically says that dreams are what happens when your brainstem decides to fire off random electrical impulses while you sleep. Your conscious brain, which hates it when things don't make sense, tries to make a story out of these random signals. So, the brainstem sends a signal for leg movement, and your brain goes, oh, obviously, we're running from a sentient toaster in a hamster costume. It's basically your brain's way of saying, I don't know what that signal meant, so I'm going to make up the most dramatic explanation possible. It's your brain being a creative storyteller to cover up for its own technical glitches at the end of the day. Dreams are just your brain filing your memories, training you for survival, and making stories out of random electrical noise. It's chaotic, it's surreal, and it's completely necessary. Without it, you wouldn't be able to learn, you wouldn't be able to deal with stress, and you'd have a massive pile of useless, non-consolidated memories clogging up your head. I've actually got a list of the 5 weirdest things science has ever discovered about the brain coming up in a future video. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss that absolute nightmare fuel. Seriously, it gets even weirder. And in the meantime, I have to know, what is the absolute weirdest dream you ever had? Drop it in the comments below, because I need to know I'm not the only one being chased by sentient kitchen appliances. I'm dying to hear your stories. So share away.